What do you do when your student finance doesn't stretch? How many of you rely on the bank of mum and dad? And what happens if you don't have that? 3/4 of students worry about money, and the vast majority rely on their parents to get by. But Laura isn't one of them.
Attending uni as an estranged person, you have a completely different university experience.
She's a 22-year-old student at the University of Aberystwyth, and she's one of 9,300 students across the country who are estranged from their parents. That means she gets no parental support, financial or otherwise.
I decided to move out when things kind of came to a head with my mum. When I was leaving home at 16, I was a mess and I realised that it wasn't healthy for me to be in that environment, so I decided that it was better for me to leave.
Estranged students like Laura are 3 times more likely to drop out of uni.
You can't just, for example, go out on a Friday night and blow all your money because you don't have anyone to call to ask for the money to borrow. It's difficult when other people can just ring their mum and say, oh, I've had a really bad day. If you've lived on your own before university, moving into halls where everyone is living on their own for the first time and is going out drinking every night, it's a completely different experience and it's not something that you quite fit in with.
It's really not so much of a pressure when I get my student loan through because, I know that if I do run out of money, I can just ask the bank of mum and dad, and that does make a big difference in my spending habits. And when I get my student loan through,
you buy everyone drinks.
I buy everyone drinks. Yeah.
It's not something I do.
It's not something I intend to do.
Knowing you've got that sort of fallback network, you've got that
Security.
Safety net, the security.
You can ask for things if you're, running low on something.
Even though students like Laura get no help from their parents, it can be hard to prove that.
Student finance was a bit of a nightmare.
Laura had to provide evidence that she was estranged to get the support that she was entitled to.
Collating all the evidence was probably the worst thing. There was so much evidence that I had to get to prove the estrangement.
Research has shown that estranged students often suffer homelessness over the summer because they end up couch surfing and don't have a home to go to. Many spend Christmas alone.
Although it's difficult and it can get lonely, it can get very lonely, I work through it and try and move forward the best I can.
Despite everything, Laura's made it through to her final year of uni and hopes to start her PhD next year, but she's concerned about the end of her student finance.
I can't wait to graduate and get the degree that I've worked this 3 years for, but at the same time there's kind of an uncertainty that where am I going to get my money from to live? I need to find a job desperately to be able to pay rent. It's always in the back of my mind. I want to prove to myself that I can do it. A lot of my life, it's always been like, oh, you're the little small person who is quiet and timid, but I want to prove that I'm more than that and I can do things. With regards to everyone else's position, other estranged students, other independent students who may not have financial support from home, it's difficult. It's definitely more difficult and there are definitely more hurdles to jump. But if you're prepared to jump them, I would say go for it.